hold myself accountable for the fact of the transaction that occurred. I hold myself accountable for that.
I've seen him do things, you know, in 5 years that a lot of people haven't done, you know, in their entire lives. He's a pretty sharp guy, and he inspired me, and I saw that, you know, what he could do, you know, without a college education. So, you know, I always thought to myself, you know, just imagine how much I could do with one.
I know what his record says. This guy is not your quote-unquote typical, he's a criminal. He's not. This guy's a guy I'd leave my house keys to.
That's just the type of person Adrian is. He will help anybody. Anybody. Like I said earlier, when we move, he'll go down to the homeless shelter and pick somebody up to help him move, and he will pay them. Instead of asking my brothers or friends that he got, he'll go down to the mission and pick them up and pay them.
My name is Ted Brown. I'm the general manager of Suzuki in Nashville. I've been in the auto sales business for 20-somewhat years here in Nashville. Upon meeting Adrian, I didn't think he'd was going to be able to be a part of my team because he was kind of street, you know, the way he talked, et cetera, et cetera. And so I had pretty much made a quick judgment that he probably wasn't going to make it with me. I put some really tough rules in, a really strict dress code. There's a lot of strict things, and some of it was even unfair, and I knew that, but what I was trying to do was weed people out.
You know, I came to work one day, I was maybe a second late, man. Just getting into the meeting, not late to work, but just late getting in the door to the meeting. And they sent me home, and I was enraged, man. I was so upset, man. I went home, and the next day I came to work.
The next day, man, he was there. He's 5 minutes early, and he was in a tie. And he pulled me aside, and he said, you know, hey, boss, you know, I want you to know that I know what you're trying to do. And he says, you know, I'm not going to be a part of the problem. He says, I'm going to be a part of the solution, you know.
And that was the first job I ever had, man. And eventually, man, I became the top salesman at my dealership. I was the lead salesman. I sold real good.
My name is Timothy Jackson. I worked with Adrian for about 4 years through the car business. Worked directly with him at Suzuki of Nashville. Very hard worker, always there early, always stayed late. Just pretty much did everything that was asked of him. He led the board several months at the dealership. If another salesperson needed a little help or something, he was always there to help him out. He would have made an excellent training manager because he did it really good. So he would always pass on his knowledge to other salespeople that were around him.
I didn't think he could do it, but he's proved to me that, you know, regardless of what he had been through in his life and his background, I misjudged him. He had the ability to be professional. He was a professional salesperson.
And, you know, he really showed me what you can do just off of your own drive and your own initiative. And he's done a lot of things. You know, he bought me my first car.
I never imagined that after doing 10 years that I would be able to just get out and just get readjusted back to society the way I did. I moved out, got my own place, and I met Jemiah, my daughter's mother, and we moved into a home. My daughter was born. I was doing all the right things. You know, I had built up my credit, had a 750 Beacon score, opened up bank accounts, credit cards. I consider myself a citizen in good standards, man, doing all the right things.
You know, when I started school, you know, he was always the guy to, you know, to give me gas money. You know, he was always the guy to make sure that I was going to school. He always would ask me, you know, how's your day going? Did you learn anything today? Or, you know, can you teach me anything today? And, you know, I always sit down and I'm like, well, I learned this today, man. And, you know, did you know such and such? And he'd always be pretty fascinated with what I learned.
And I've never been to college, so, you know, you can imagine me sitting in there as if I'm his parent. Don't know what's really going on, so I took him and tried to get him enrolled and did all the paperwork, but it was just taking too long. So then we went to ETSU, got him enrolled, man. And
finally got a chance to, you know, start school because before I wasn't able to. I had some financial issues, but you know, my brother told me to stick around and just wait it out, and everything actually it actually did look up for me, and I actually had a chance to attend MTSU.
My name is Mattie Gilmore. I am the mother of Adrian Gilliam's fiance.
My name is Mattie Gilmore. I am the fiance of Adrian Gilliam. And this is our 2-year-old daughter, Amia Gilliam.
And that's my pride and joy. That's my heart, man. I mean, when she was born, man, my whole life changed, man. You know, it's hard for me to even imagine life before she was here. Now that she's here, man. I remember when Jemiah told me she was pregnant, man. It was one of the happiest days of my life, man. Cause
all of a sudden he became expecting, and then it was like the happiest day of his life. He was like, I'm gonna be the best dad, the best, best everything,
And when she was born, I had to make him leave the hospital. He was there 2 days prior to being there early that morning without even leaving the hospital room. And I had to make him go home. Just go home, get out the hospital, go home for 5 minutes.
Adrian is a wonderful father, actually. After he get off of work, he'll come home and play with his daughter. On weekends, he loved to take her to the park and just spend time with her. I was in school for a time, so he would always take her to work with him instead of taking her to a babysitter or the daycare. He'll even come home on his lunch break to take her to the park on his 30-minute lunch break or hour lunch break, bring her back home and go back to work. He loves spending time with his daughter.
If he spends 10 years, 10 more of his years in prison, then this situation is already a tragedy, then it's even more of a tragedy if that happens to him.
Because he was the provider, he took care of everything. And now that he's gone, I've been staying with my mom, staying with friends. My financial problems, yeah, it's been hard. It's been hard.
Since he has been going away, I had to deal with a lot of things, kind of by myself because, previously I was living, under his household, and he was letting me stay there rent-free, but now, I live here and I have to take care of a lot of things by myself, which is fine, but, I can remember a time when I had my brother there, who was like my backbone.
Also, his daughter's birthday is December 22nd.
Oh, my
she will be 3 years old. I would love him to be home for her birthday to celebrate that with her.
And his birthday is December 23rd, the day after.